Welcome back, everyone, to another Eat Speak podcast. I'm Bud Kennedy. It's the most delicious podcast in Texas.
Yes, it is. And I'm Steve Wilson.
Hello, Steve Wilson. And hello, our guest today. Happy New Year. Happy 2021. And our guest today, we're going to start talking about slimming down for the new year, but maybe not so much. But our guest today, Katie Schma from Local Foods Kitchen.
Thank you for having me, everybody.
You know, Katie, we want to talk to you right up front about what a great year 2020 was for takeout and curbside. I know it wasn't a great year for the restaurant business, but it was a year when restaurateurs like you and John Bonnell set up curbside delivery outside. People could come through in their SUVs, pick up dinner for their family. It wasn't expensive. It was safe. It was a good deal, and it was a way that you protected everybody and you protected your customers. You know. You're still doing that, I believe, but talk about what got you started doing that and how restaurants adjusted in 2020.
Well, back in March, at the end of March and early April, when they shut us down, it really hit home to everybody that worked for me. Gradually, we understood, wow, this is serious. And so I kind of like freaked out. Naturally, and you call everybody for help, your landlords, you envision that everything's going to die and the restaurant's going to close and it'll be black. But then being with the true nature of my family and myself and what my parents instilled to me is I decided to just go. And with that said, I kept all my crew on with very, very low hours. The dinners created and a way for us to keep busy and to open and bring money in. Thanks to the government with the PPP, the foods, me creating dinners for takeout on a good price kept my staff busy. Staff kept some money coming in during the times when my PPP was used up. And then it also was a creative outlet for all of us who started to have a lot of fun. We're still having fun. That's why I'm still doing it. it's just one. It's fun watching all the cars pull around the corner and seeing how the community is still hungry, and we're able to feed a few of them, and that's important to us.
We're talking with Katie Schma, the owner of Local Foods Kitchen, owner and chef of Local Foods Kitchen in Tanglewood. We should give the address before we get too far off. The address is on Hardwood. Is that right, Katie?
Yes, 4548 Hartwood Drive. That's HART. And we are located in a small shopping strip adjacent to Kites Cleaners and the Squire Shop and Caldwell Banker Real Estate across the street from DSW Shoe Store.
Yeah, your front faces the big Tom Thumb Shopping Center and Trinity
Yes.
Commons and all that. So people say over by the big Tom Thumb is what they usually say. In Local Foods, people think Local Foods just kind of started and you came up right here, but Local Foods kind of has been on a trajectory from from Carmel to McKinney to Lover's Lane to Napa and back to Hewlin. Is that right?
No, it was, I grew up in a family of 6. My mother entertained heavily. The foundation of myself and all my family members is food and entertainment, hospitality, and, opening up the front door and welcoming people into your restaurant and watching them. From that point, when I was a little kid, I would watch people what they ate. Of course, my mother was an incredible cook. That was Carmel, Pebble Beach, California. And then we moved in 76 to Dallas. And then over the years, Mom opened up a seafood restaurant called oh my God, what is it called? Fish. It was down in Pearl Street in Old Farmers Market when it was all vintage buildings and nothing was torn down. And then she opened up a place called City Cafe on Lover's Lane by the toll road, and she was successful with that for 18 years and moved back to Napa. I worked for her for all those times, and then eventually I moved back to my hometown of Carmel, opened up a restaurant, a catering operation, and then Mom sold her restaurant in Dallas and moved to Napa, so I moved up to Napa, and then I also did things in Wilmington, North Carolina, as well as then I'm back. Then I came back and some guy kept coming into our place in the Napa restaurant. We had a takeout just like what you see here, but a little bit more vintage and oil wax tablecloths and wine geeks coming in and dirt driveways and right there nestled in between the Mondavi Winery and Farniente. I was right next door. And that was incredible. And this guy kept coming in, and I moved back to. Long story short, he said he's from Arlington, so
he kept saying some guy kept saying you ought to move back and you ought to come back.
Hey, I like you, so I followed him.
Well, so and you wound up in Hewlin, which Tanglewood's got Tanglewood has a good business, and you picked,
and I didn't know Fort Worth at all.
Yeah.
I just I kept driving around looking for a place that I felt suitable for people who want really good, fresh, healthy foods and crisp, things that I'm not one for diets. I'm one for balanced nutrition and keeping it all fresh and savory. And there we go.
What is that? Tell us what that is.
That was the carrot salad.
Okay.
From the Center Deli case from Asian flavors, sesame, and that's something we could probably do for somebody if they see this and want it, but it would be a special order. I'm basically
the reason we show that. Yeah, go ahead. The reason I show that is it's an example that you outvoted the vegan restaurant for best vegan restaurant in town. You were ranked best salads and best vegetarian and so I mean when it comes to greenery and that's not all green there, but when it comes to greenery, people pick you for the best salad place. So in January you ought to be the hot spot. Let's talk a little bit specifically about food and what sells the most. What are the favorites in the cases? And then what do people like the most on the curbside?
The curbside changes every Sunday. I sit down, I create a menu for for 3 nights a week, Wednesday through Friday, and so they don't have a favorite. Although they all like the beef. They all like it when I do the beef tenderloin, but that kind of I have to balance out my food costs.
This is Fort Worth. Yeah, we like our beef here.
Say it again, Steve.
But all of the menus have been received pretty well. We also, as far as the center case, that's our most popular hit in the store. They totally enjoy. Thank you. They have all the varieties. There's one thing that's not on the menu. It's called the sample plate, where people come in and they take up to 4 different salads on a plate or in a box to go. And then the entrees are the enchiladas, the salmon, the shrimp cakes. There's so many, but we change everything every month as well as possible. We're going to be flowing in some new things for the salads, taking out squash and green beans. I'm really burned out on all that, but we cater a lot for special orders, like people come in and they have family coming in. For instance, somebody's picking up tomorrow for 16 people out at their ranch, and they've chosen all these different foods that I'm fixing for them today, and then they'll pick them up in the morning and take them out to the ranch so they don't have to cook.
And everything will be fresh, and it won't just be going to the chicken fried steak cafe or something. Everything will be fresh.
Right.
So well, now you are a takeout lunch cafe, a sandwich and salad cafe. Steve, what do you want to go ahead?
Oh, well, I just mentioned that when she was talking about beef, this is Fort Worth, so we do like our beef here.
Well,
you can't sell lamb. Pork is easy.
But we're not too sure about the lamb. It's like
you should taste my lamb curry.
I would love that. My wife actually made lamb curry for Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it sounds kind of California, having lamb.
next time you have lamb curry,
Napa Valley kind of.
I'm going to contact you.
Text me and I'll come over and try some of that. So that'll be good. We do eat a lot of beef here, and that's why I was looking at, like, for New Year's Eve, which most people will be seeing this afterward, but everybody had like beef bourguignon and everything. Everybody had a beef entree, but I know Saint Emilion had a rack of lamb, and that was the only that was like a non-beef entree. But in January you have to kind of clean up your act, don't you, or do you?
It's always just instilled in all of us to change something in the new year. And for us, it's taking down Christmas, starting new. We're not going to change anything about our service and what we have to offer, but we're going to change the foods. I'll give you an example. We go with the flow. And when all this came about 10 months ago, for the issues with our health and all that, we started doing a salad with just all citrus and turmeric and cayenne, and had that as one. It was the most popular salad we had in that case. It was called Vitamin. Of course, I can't remember anything because we do so many different foods. Vitamin C something, and things to pump up your systems.
Yeah, it's really good.
Clean you out. So I have to say, though, that the menu, like for tonight's menu for the drive-through dinners, is almond crusted chicken. And then on the side, we're doing fresh spinach with mandarin oranges and avocado. And that's, pretty healthy. And it's very nice sized chicken. Of course, we have a lemon cookie.
Yeah. And we haven't talked about your baked goods. We'll talk about those in just a second.
Yeah, my pastry chef is incredible. And she I don't even have to do a menu anymore because she's always bringing new things out, and it's a lot, with not knowing what's going to sell, she kind of can put it in and take it out if it's not going well.
I'm trying to avoid talking about how you have like 15 cakes and 12 cookies and praline. I'm really trying to avoid thinking about that a lot, but now I'm starting to think about those praline cookies, and you're going to have to tell me some more about those. What's in the case right now?
The funny thing is that when I was sitting at home trying to envision this local foods kitchen, I didn't want to put the desserts in the back. I wanted them right out in the front. And the fun thing is the little kids with their masks now come up and they're all looking at the desserts while people are paying out. You don't have to get the cookies, but
Yeah.
But it's there for.
But if the kid's sitting there pointing, then you have to get the cookie.
You have them low in the window, so the kids eye it right up.
At the checkout stand.
We're
They're
all,
right there
we're all
at the
saying,
checkout.
go wipe it, go wipe the, please go wipe the case, please go wipe the case.
You can't avoid
What we have in there now are numerous different tarts. She loves a shortbread crust with cherry pie, and we're talking a 3.5 inch, 3 inch diameter dessert, so it's perfect for individual. We have, I don't really. We had a red velvet cake, but I'm not sure. It's more about the little things that sell better for us than the whole cakes right now. I don't know why that is. The Blum's cake, for instance, is always a hit as well.
So, you really fit in a lot of different ways. You're a tuna salad sandwich, scoop of salad lunch cafe. You're a La Madeleine bakery, kind of cafe. There have been a couple of other local bakeries that closed in December, and you had to do more baking and cookies to pick up some of that business, and you kind of fit a lot of different ways. How do you describe Local Foods Kitchen? Gourmet takeout, or how do you describe it?
Yeah, I do. I say it's a gourmet takeout. It's like having your own personal chef without having them on your payroll. You can call us up. You can get special orders, special foods, things that have nothing to do with any of the menus that you see or see on the website, if we remember to update it. The fun thing for me is the creative end of this business, and I love the people. I love watching them eat their foods and want to taste a bite. City Cafe was geared towards that same thing, where the kitchen was out in the center of the room, and you could see your beautiful foods going out to the table, and you could watch the people eating. And that, to me, is what's never changed throughout all this mess of issues with the COVID for us, because we are an open kitchen. We are safe. We ask that people, do their thing in the front before walking into our home. And we do have the table set up perfectly for safety. We don't have gas heaters outside, so people. Well, yesterday I had a couple in there.
The patio dining's been really good.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I was really impressed when I saw the shaded patio and the way you had it set up, and on these spring days when that sun is coming. I mean, although if it's a cool day, that even with the sun coming out of the south or southwest, it's warm on that patio. And
Yes.
I think that the way you've got the patio set up is really conducive to a beautiful breakfast or a really nice lunch cafe.
Yeah, we used to be open longer hours. We used to have dinner reservations on Open Table, etc. And then with all this said, we just buckled down and kept the hours that were the most popular for our sales, and changed to having dinners to go instead of inside the restaurant.
Yeah, we should be specific. You do the inside dining is lunch daily and Saturday breakfast.
Yeah, we open at 11, unlike 7:30 like we used to.
Yeah.
We're open for breakfast Saturday morning at 9.
Yeah.
Eventually, after, I'm going to say probably end of February, early March, we will open up and earlier for breakfast on Saturday. And I'm changing the whole menu for that, adding a bunch of new things, which is fun for us because we get bored. And what I was going to tell you is yesterday I had an older couple in their 80s who had ordered online. They wanted to know what desserts we had. And I took it out to them. I realized they're eating in their car, and they had a plastic fork. So I went back in, got a plate, got forks, got knives, and they sat outside. He even had a little clothing for his nice sweater.
Yeah.
And then took their meal in their car.
Yeah.
Do you have a candle to take out?
Candlelight
They
dining.
would have died laughing.
Yeah. There's the curbside takeout has been taken to great lengths by
It's
some of
crazy.
the diners.
It's a whole new position. We have to get another one person that handles the takeout, and that's something new we never did.
The takeout and the curbside. Like I said, John Bonnell kind of perfected it, but you put out these great dinners. I've really been impressed at the Mediterranean restaurants, Biblos, puts out like an entire buffet. They have what you would usually think of as a giant bento box, but it has like 12 different little spaces, and they put everything from their Mediterranean buffet in the
Oh,
bento
really?
box,
That's
and
nice.
then they give you the Greek chicken, the lemon chicken, and some of their great food, and they sack it all up for $29, I think, and it's a great dinner. And then Cafe Shadra has a special each night. That's a takeout. I've really been impressed at the family dinners, the way restaurants have pitched in to do affordable things for families. Oh, I don't want to forget to mention your Monday and Tuesday, because that's when you see me as coming in for the $15 deal on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but this time you come in and you pick anything you want out of the case, and it's $15, just like we do for the bags. But I feel like if I do those specialty dinners every night of the week, it won't be as exciting for the people, and we won't generate such a great public, because we do put a lot of effort into them. And it's better to have them just 3 nights and make it that much.
Choices. Monday and Tuesday, you come in and you pick an entree and 2 sides, and it's $15, and you can have a nice, and a cookie, and you get a nice. I mean, we've got a nice grilled salmon, a nice squash side or something, and starch or rice or quinoa or whatever in the salad, and then a cookie, and it's $15, and it's a great deal. So,
Yep.
And I know we're probably confusing all the listeners with all the different specials and deals that you have. So are they on the website? Is that localfoodskitchen.com?
The specials for Monday, Tuesday?
The kind of, you have a Monday, Tuesday special. You have a curbside deal.
Curbside is under dinners. I have to remember how I listed it. But yes, everything's on our website.
I'll just say you have to go to the website and click all the links and punch all the buttons, and because there's little surprises behind all of them, because you have like 4 different deals and combos and specials, and then you sign up. Then you sign up for the email, and you get even more specials. So.
And we try not to be, in sending too many emails.
Well, yeah, I mean, you send enough to tell us what the menu is.
Right.
Steve, what do you think about the best takeout of the last year? We didn't really review 2020. A lot of the restaurants that closed, people thought business was bad, but a lot of the restaurants that closed didn't really close because of COVID. I mean, Bird and Taverna, Sundance had a management change, and there was just a leasing turnover down there, and El Rancho Grande was sold. That family retired after 70 years. Southside Rambler had all kinds of internal problems. And I really have trouble thinking of a restaurant that closed simply because of COVID. I think, the Deep Ellum Brewing, the $3 million brew pub, was, just ill-conceived. And, the Lord knows the West 7th didn't need any more beer, and there wasn't any need to open a brew pub over there.
Well, I'm sure it didn't help, these businesses. I mean, I think it hastens what was happening.
Do you think there were any particular restaurants that stood out in 2020? Either one of you that stood out as doing a great job, or new openings that really thrilled you this year?
Me?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I don't remember all their names. You become quite in your own little box and work hard at it. I do know that my Press Cafe and the Tavern, the solid places that have maintained their same people, they've just been going on with just more control over seating. I mean, I don't think anyone's changing anything. I think I know that John's the only one that I know that does the drive-thru. So it was nice to hear about the Mediterranean. I really feel like one of the thoughts that has nothing to do with your question was that when this came about in April, for me, in May, for me, it was almost like the new year had started as well. We have had issues, we have downfalls, we had all these new things, but we all changed. We all became chameleons in our own business. We all had to do new things that would inspire people to come out and stay eating outside of their homes. And even though that some people are still scared to be out and about, they are coming out, and I have learned so much this past year that it's been rewarding for me. I've looked at all this as being an opportunity to do more. Be just even my own health is how to be more careful with my own health and how to eat healthy and how to inspire the people and how to assure them that we're family. That's how I feel about it, because I can't change what's already happened. So my new year started actually in April, I have to say.
Oh, yeah. I think it's remarkable. And I should mention Cat City Grill runs the family packs too. So you Bunnell's and your restaurant in Cat City are
I
probably
know.
the three.
What's exciting is the Pope, the Pope.
Roy Pope Grocery.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Roy Pope. They're the only one that had my Gilroy chili peppers before they closed.
Oh, okay.
So Roy Pope, and then all those the Paris
Right.
bakery.
Lou Lambert's acquisition of Roy Pope
I
Grocery
think
and
that's so
Paris
great.
Coffee Shop.
Yeah.
So all that'll be good. Well, you've been running a busy restaurant this whole time, but none of these other people we're talking about run a bakery too. So you're running a busy restaurant and a busy bakery. Steve, any other thoughts about last year or the year ahead?
It seems like this past year to me, it was like, for me, the year of the drive-through, because basically I ended up, it really wasn't eating inside. I would drive through to pick up anything. So for me, it was drive-through pickup, which is kind of what we're talking about, curbside and drive-through.
And in this case, I mean, at the local foods, you set up the little tent outside and a little table, and it literally was just like a drive-through pickup. I mean, it was you didn't go anywhere close to the door to pick up, dinner at local food. So
well,
just
if it's snowing tomorrow, we're going to throw the bags in the car.
Yeah, that's right. Just, haul off and throw fix something that you can toss and just toss it at us as we roll by. Well, I hope that 2021 is not a year where dinner is something that gets tossed at us as we roll by. I hope we're able to sit down and enjoy it more, but we really have enjoyed it at home, and people have learned the value of picking things out and taking them home, sharing them and keeping them, and then having leftovers the next day. And finally, this is the year that has really put gourmet takeout in places like a local foods kitchen on the map.
Yeah, it's almost like the old Leave It to Beaver, how I grew up in my family, where you go home and eat instead of going out to eat. And unfortunately, that doesn't help a lot of the people who are struggling. I wish that they had, the opportunities to do curbside. I think a lot of them are, but like you said, when this happened, there are so many businesses that didn't want to even be in the business anymore for restaurants. So they closed. I really don't feel it was about COVID either. I think that it was an opportunity to redesign their way of life, and that the restaurant, which is really hard to do, I feel it's something that happened that gave them that window to, or door to walk out and say, forget it, I'm done.
Well, thank you for being our guest on the Eat Speak podcast. Steve, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, is that it? Or
I was going to say, thank you. Thank you for being our guest today on the Eat Speak podcast. And we're looking forward to more good dining in 2021. Call me when you have that lamb curry again.
I'm going to.
Thank you, Katie Schma, your Local Foods Kitchen. Until next time, I'm Bud Kennedy.
Steve.
And Steve Wilson.
Okay, good.
Thanks, guys.